This was an incredibly special episode on so many levels, and also for me personally. We sit down with a South African champion, Nicole, and I'm not Coopersamy. I hope I'm not murdering her surname with my pronunciation. Nicole is from the Western Cape. She's 2 times South African national champion, and she has represented South Africa at national level. She is completely focused and committed to the sport of powerlifting and to growing it, from helping with referee development in the Western Cape to putting on competitions and exposing athletes and youth, primarily from disadvantaged communities and challenged communities in the Western Cape, to the sport of powerlifting, and telling them and showing them through example what the sport can do for you, how it can change how you feel about yourself, how it can change the belief you have. She's passionate about showing women how strong they really are and empowering them to believe in themselves and to stand up for themselves. This is a very, very special episode. If you are in the Western Cape in South Africa, I encourage you to watch this. And if you are a lady lifter, I encourage you to watch this and to share it with your friends. It is something that is empowering. There is a wonderful movement happening in the Western Cape in powerlifting, and as many of us as possible need to get behind it and to support it and to help her in her amazing work, working with the youth and working with ladies to show them really how strong they are. And that ultimately is what this wonderful, wonderful sport is about. It's about proving to ourselves how strong we are and what we're capable of and how valuable we truly are. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the Powerlifting Edition. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you proudly by Emmet Beats, music by athletes for athletes. It's music that you can use in your live streams, on your social media posts, without fear of any copyright infringement. And now we're proud to announce the launch of the walkout edition of our 4th album, Big Dog. This is music that you can have played at any event streamed by Emmet Media. Any competition that you come to that Emmet Media is streaming, you can ask to have the song on this album played as your walkout music. It's a series of 90-second tracks that you can train to and practice to and set your mind to, knowing that when the beat drops exactly, that's when you're going to bring what you need to bring to the platform, with the understanding that getting into the right mindset on the platform is everything, because all of the training, all of the work comes down to that moment when you're under the bar. It's available free for you to use right now on iTunes and Spotify. All right, so we are recording. Welcome to the podcast, Nicole Coopersamy, South African lifter and coach, right?
Personal trainer, not coaching just yet, but yes.
Okay. What's the difference?
So I don't coach for powerlifting specifically. I have a coach, but I don't coach any lifters. No. And personal training is just, it's my business. It's what I do for a living.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between a personal trainer and a coach?
It's the same thing.
Welcome to the show, Coach Nicole. Hey.
The buzzer, man. The buzzer.
You see, I'm like a kid with all my toys. I love it.
I see you.
So, Nick, you're down in Cape Town, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And as you said, put on a jacket. It's cold. Yeah, it's freezing. You look a lot warmer than I feel right now. So.
Don't be fooled. I'm sitting in an air-conditioned room. Do not be fooled. The heater is on.
Okay, lovely. Cool. Right. So, for those who don't know you, and I think that most of the South African community does, also you've competed internationally. Give us a little bit of a background. Who are you? Who is Nicole?
Like I told you before we recorded, I really don't like speaking about myself, so I'll try and keep this. It will probably be short. So I'm
Yep.
Nicole Coopersamy, 29 years old. I started powerlifting 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
by accident, actually. I just approached my current coach and I was like, listen, I want to get stronger, I want to get fitter, I want to get healthier, post COVID, gained a lot of weight, etc., etc. So I decided to get healthy. I decided to get healthy. And then I remember in September 2021,
Yes.
he was like, listen, let's switch over to powerlifting. Let's see how you do.
Okay.
I could easily bench press 60 kilos at the time. And he's like, let's just see how you do. And then I competed at the Western Cape Provincial Championship
Mm-hmm.
in, I think it was February in 2022, or I can't remember dates that clearly. And then we did well, qualified for nationals, so won provincials, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
nationals, let's do this. Where is it? How do we do this? Let's get involved. Let's do this. Went to nationals
Potchefs
in
where?
Potchefstroom.
Yeah.
Do you know how far that is from Cape Town? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's like, where's
Anyway,
Wieserstroom?
I know. So, fun story. That was
Yeah.
actually the first time that I even took a plane flight. I've never even been on a plane. So, this was the first time for everything. First time national powerlifting, first time flying to
Mm-hmm.
Joburg, and competed at nationals, managed to win nationals that year. And then, yeah, went to world championships, and I fell in love with the sport ever since. I think since provincials in 2022, I fell
Mm-hmm.
in love with powerlifting. I love the community. I love how non-judgmental the sport is. It's really, I don't know if it's even okay to say this, but it's a very body positive sport. We
Yeah.
don't judge anyone here. We're just here to lift as heavy as we can, and that's about it, and make friends and build the community. So yeah, that's me. I've been to 2 world championships, won nationals twice, and here I am today.
It's epic. And listen, you take your training, and I'm quite sure your coaching of your clients the same way as your setup is spot on. You're centered in frame. Everything's ready to go. And I think you take your lifting very, very seriously, which is why you're able to perform at the level that you do. So, what does powerlifting mean to you?
Powerlifting, to be honest, people say, this has changed my life and that has changed my life, but powerlifting has changed my life. It's taught me discipline
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a personal trainer, right? So I tell people what to do. That's my job. You come to me, I help you get fit, I help you get strong.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the discipline to train. I was not consistent. I couldn't even persevere. The moment I had the flu, then I had the flu for 6 months because I don't come back to gym. You know. So I was that
Yeah.
personal trainer.
Yeah.
And powerlifting taught me you need to be consistent. If you want to see results, consistency is key. If
Mm-hmm.
you want if you want to keep going, yes, you're going to fail a lift this week, but in 3 weeks' time you might get it. So you have to persevere. And
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to get stronger, I need to be consistent. I'm not going to wake up one day and I can bench 300 kilograms. It doesn't work that way. If I'm not
Yeah.
consistently showing up for my training sessions every single day that I am booked to train, it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
powerlifting has changed my life. I love the sport.
Oh, that's epic. I think speaking about that, and I think maybe it's a good segue into the event that you're putting together for Women's Day.
Yeah.
The reason also that I've put these podcasts together, why I wanted to get this information out while we're all working so hard to grow the sport, is exactly what you've said about it. There are no negatives in powerlifting that I can think of.
Nothing.
It's a life-changing sport. It gives you skills that'll enhance and improve the quality of your life. So with
Most
that in
definitely.
mind, tell us about the event that you are planning.
So I am a big believer in women empowerment, and I
Mm.
would love to see more women step
So,
onto the
so
platform.
hold on. Let's ask why.
Why?
What's
So
your
I
why
have this
behind
belief.
that? Mm-hmm.
Why? I believe that women are just as strong as men. I know that you are a male,
Mm.
so no offense, but I feel like as
It's
women we
fine.
need to
Next,
stop.
your numbers are better than mine. I don't take offense.
we need to stop apologizing so much. We need to own this space. If you're in the gym, and I tell my clients this all the time, you own the weights area just as much as a male does. Just because we have different body parts and our testosterone levels are not as high does not make us lower than men. We are equal beings. We are equal humans. And I feel that women should own their space and take up their space, whether it's in the gym, in the workplace, at home, in a social environment, live confidently, live boldly, live unabashedly. So I have a massive passion to help women become stronger, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, realizing that they have this potential on the inside that they just need to bring out.
100%. What does being strong mean to you? What has it given to you?
It's helped me gain confidence. Physical strength, I think, has helped me gain confidence. And I've realized in the past 2 years, mentally, I'm stronger than what I thought I was. Especially after surgery, coming back from surgery, having to rebuild, having to start from the bottom. Powerlifting has helped me realize that I'm not only strong physically, but I'm very strong mentally.
That's it. What does mental strength give you? How does it enhance the quality of your life?
It helps me in my business. I think, how does mental strength? Let me think about this. Okay. So mental strength in my sport, it helped me enhance my performance on the platform, helped me execute lifts better, even though I haven't done it that much this year. But in the past, it's helped me execute lifts a lot better. And I'm able to even just engage with other human beings a bit better, on a higher, not frequency, but have deeper conversations with human beings. And not just these shallow, how was your day? What did you have for dinner? Conversations, less superficial conversations. So it's really helped me build better relationships with other humans.
So I think what I'm hearing is it's helped you, the physical strength, the mental strength, and having to earn that strength has helped you develop that self-belief, self-worth, your self-esteem. So I think when we value ourselves more, we have more serious conversations.
Yes.
Because we're not afraid to let people see who we are, because we believe in ourselves. And if people don't see our value, the value we know we have, we understand that's their stuff, not ours.
Yes, 100%.
And talking about that for ladies, I think it's so important, because when you value yourself, you protect yourself.
Yes.
When you value yourself, you stand up for yourself. And when you love yourself, you tolerate less abuse, people belittling you, putting you down, taking you for granted.
Yes.
So powerlifting is an incredible sport because it's a way that's progressive and linear, right? You 10 kilos today, 20 kilos next month, that you can develop the self-worth and the self-belief and the self-love, and talking particularly for the ladies, and that you can then decide, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to keep myself safer. I'm going to make difficult decisions, maybe decisions I believed I couldn't make, in order to protect myself and my quality of life.
Yes.
And that's exactly what the bar teaches us, right? Yeah.
100% agree with you.
Yeah. So let's talk about the event that you're putting on, because this is why it's vital that, and what I'm so grateful that we can put the podcast out. This is for next week, for Women's Day, the event, but we want as many people tuning in as possible, because we're planning on coming down and doing it online. We just have to, we're planning. We just have to get logistics around some of our existing corporate stuff. But so this is why it's so important. So
So the event, as you know, part of Southside Strength, and we are just a powerlifting club that we don't have a home, or we don't have a gym. We just run powerlifting events and development seminars. So we started this club to sort of like grow the powerlifting community in the Western Cape. So this event that we're running on Women's Day, I was thinking about it. How can I make a difference? How can myself and Taryn, how can we change one life on this day? How can we just plant a little seed? So we thought, why not run a beginner's powerlifting strength seminar for women? So all we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what is powerlifting, how do I get involved in powerlifting, what do I need to start? You know, we're going to show them what a rack looks like, what a barbell looks like. This is how much it weighs. We're going to talk about squat, bench, deadlift, and just the basic rules of the sport. And then we have a I won't say ex-powerlifter, a current powerlifter. She's competed before. She's gone to world champs. Also, Marian Tanzam, masters lifter, and she'll be talking about the mental game. So she's going to bring in the mental side of powerlifting. Just talking about being strong as a woman mentally, being strong as a woman emotionally. Because I can teach someone how to be strong physically, but mentally and emotionally, I feel it's out of my scope of practice. So we have her coming in just to encourage the women. And then we'll just have a small 15, 20-minute social afterwards, get to know everyone that came, why they came. We'll also have some really cool prizes up for grabs. So it's going to be a fantastic day. Really.
Awesome. Now, it sounds like a lot of fun. And obviously, it's giving opportunity to ladies that are within reach of the gym, that can get to the gym, to start coming and training and getting, I grew up in Cape Town. I have an understanding of the challenges that some of the communities are facing, particularly for the youth, particularly for the ladies, particularly for young girls. I looked at doing. I was invited to come down to Cape Town a couple of years ago. This is pre-COVID, to the old cement factory where there's a development that's happened there in Philippi. And in Philippi, there's the container shopping center, or we were looking at putting a gym in there. And in that development, there's a office park. So you have different insurance companies and financial services firms there. And there's also a library. And this is something that hit home with me about the Cape Town community is, so to get into the development, you have to go through security. Okay. To get into the office park, you have to go through a different level of another set of security. And to get into the library, you have to go into a third set of security. And the woman who was involved in the fundraising to put this development together said to me that the library is full of young girls after school that are coming there to study. But it's not only that it's a place for them to study, it's a place of safety, because all of these different levels of security you have to get through, they were not exposed to any of the challenges that they would have been exposed to if they were at home, if they were on the street. Because with a lot of those communities, there aren't safe places to go after school. It's very limited. And that's the beauty and the value of the gym. It doesn't matter if you're an athletic girl, if you're a heavy girl who's never played sport, powerlifting is for you. And that's why I got really excited when I heard what you are putting together, because it truly is. The gym, like that library, can become the safe place. The
Yes, 100%.
Come in there, train, hang out, do your homework, and then when it's, maybe when your parents are home, then go home as a group when it's safer. So that's absolute, it's something that's so incredible, and sharing this with the world and with the community is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So,
most definitely.
What was it like for you going to Worlds at the first time?
It was something else. I think, to be honest, I was more starstruck than anything else.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
you see these lifters that you admire and that you look up to, and they're just walking past you,
Yeah.
just casually walking by. So that I was number one, starstruck. Number two, I was honored to be there, to be able to represent my country in my country, because World Championships, as you know, was in South Africa
And
last
yeah,
year.
yeah. Sun
It
City,
was
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Amazing experience. And I've been to another World Championship, but I feel like the World Championship in Sun City was like no
Your
other. It
World
was
Championship,
crazy. It was
yeah,
amazing.
100%.
So I enjoyed every minute on the platform, and I
Mm,
really just enjoyed meeting other fellow lifters from other countries and
mm.
sharing our journeys and sharing our how we've grown into the sport, how we've gotten into the sport. So that was great.
Awesome. Tell us about the community, how, what it means to you, how you find it, what it gives you on an international level, and then let's talk a local level. And I'm also very chuffed to be speaking to you because you're our first province lifter. So that's very cool.
So on an international level, I've got
Mm,
made quite a few connections with world renowned lifters, world
mm,
champions, and just other lifters that come from other countries. And what I've found is that everyone's just open to be your friend. Everyone's open to have that connection, to have that
mm,
open ending conversation, and everyone's just open to help. That's something I've never. I played soccer semi-professionally, and
mm-hmm.
you don't speak to someone else from the other team. That's just not how this works. You
Yep.
stick to your team, and that's it. And when I came to powerlifting, I realized that everyone's your friend. Everyone can be your friend.
Mm,
Maybe you're in the same weight class and you compete together. So on the platform, you're not friends, but afterwards you can hug one another. You can give each
yeah.
other that big embrace. So that's something that I realized internationally everyone's just open to building and growing this community and
Mm,
making the sport as powerful as we believe it can be.
mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, and
And
let's
then,
the South
hey,
African community. What's that like?
man, I'm telling you, it's something else. So when I started this journey,
Mm,
I thought, you know what, let me start following a few South African powerlifters, just like a few women, um, and see if they'd respond to my messages and my DMs. And I messaged a few of them, and I'm telling you, they replied because I didn't know what WADA was.
mm,
I didn't know like, how do I affiliate? What is affiliation? What is SAPF?
yeah, yeah.
What is powerlifting? I know how to lift, I know how to squat, bench, deadlift, but I don't know how to do the administrative part of things. And I'm telling you, all of these women that I messaged, they were
Mm,
from Joburg, and they were so open to help. And in Western Cape, we are like a family. When it's
mm-hmm,
provincials, everyone cheers everyone on, everyone's happy for everyone. So I feel like there's such a strong bond in our community, a bond of friendship. Yes,
mm-hmm,
there's rivalry on the platform, but after that, I mean, you're my friend.
mm. That's
So
all.
it's the powerlifting community is just it's amazing. I love it. I can't say anything negative about it.
Oh, Nick, that's epic. Why should someone, and I suppose it's like an obvious question, but why should someone get involved in our sport? Let's look at first, if you were speaking to the youth and then speaking to sort of to adults. For the youth, why should they look at getting involved?
So as a young adult, um, I didn't grow up with an easy life, and I'm not here to share a life story. But I believe that powerlifting can save someone from drugs, from drug
Mm-hmm,
addiction, can save them from alcoholism, can save them from many things. Because, like I said, this sport teaches you discipline,
mm,
consistency, perseverance. It gives you confidence. You know who you are, you know your strength, you know what you're capable of. So, as a young adult or as a youth, this sport can keep you on a good path, on the right path.
mm-hmm.
Not only will you be consistent in gym, but you'll be consistent with your studies. You'll
Yeah.
be disciplined to go and sit with your books and your homework. You know that you cannot spend 5, 6 hours at night on the street because you need sleep, because you need
Mm,
to rest for training. So powerlifting can really, I think, protect our youth.
mm,
And in just normal, everyday women, powerlifting can help you realize how strong you are emotionally,
absolutely. Yep.
mentally, physically. It will enhance your lives enhance your life in ways you cannot imagine.
And it's a wonderful thing when ladies know how strong they are.
Yeah.
can be a terrifying thing for those who are giving them a hard time.
Yes.
You know, I started our development academy, probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago. And one of the things that I realized, as you said, you know, if you're training, you want to get to bed early. You don't want to do the drugs. You don't want to do the drinking. But what's fantastic about that is utilizing the egos of the youth. Because,
Mm,
and I think maybe even with the girls, but I know particularly with the young guys, if I'm not going to go out and cause trouble tonight and drink and smoke because I've got to be at the gym tomorrow and my mate's
yes.
benching 150 and
100%.
and I'm on 78, you know, so I got to catch him. And it's a
Yes.
wonderful, healthy way to use the ego.
Yes. Most definitely.
Huh? It's absolutely fantastic. So for you, what does the future hold? What are you planning?
With powerlifting
Yeah,
or
with in
okay.
powerlifting and in general.
So powerlifting, I'm going to be 11 months post-op.
Mm-hmm.
So next month I'll be 1 year post-surgery. So
Mm.
I really want to see what my knee is actually capable after a full year of having to heal and recover.
Yes.
So I do plan on coming to nationals next year. And I don't know if I plan on winning. I'm very, very, very competitive. I plan on
Yes.
winning, and I would love to do Commonwealth. It's in South Africa next
Yeah.
year. It's in Sun City. So I definitely that's on the cards. If God willing, everything holds together on the platform, and I can win nationals. That's
That's
definitely
awesome.
on the cards for now.
Okay, epic. Well, I was going to say, yeah, because Masters is going to be too long a wait. Um,
Yeah, yeah, no. Masters is 11 years away.
yeah, there you go. 100%. You know, it's a great, it's really, um, sure. It's such, you know, we're talking about Masters, just catching up with my thoughts, talking about Masters, where if you look at guys like Dan Oppenheim, huh, who
Yes.
I think, yeah, you know, like how he's moving and lifting and competing still. It's the most wonderful sport. You got people. I mean, there was a lady at World Bench from Japan. I think was she 84 years old and she benched 84 kilos. You
Yes.
know?
So I see myself doing powerlifting
Mm,
until I cannot lift a 20-kilo bar
yeah.
anymore. I want
Awesome.
to be like that. They must create a
Yeah.
Master 5
Yeah.
section for me. You know what? But I think the Dan's gonna make
Yeah.
Master 5, and
Yeah. Yeah.
then we'll catch up. You know,
So
so
it's a
powerlifting, I'm
yeah.
gonna be doing it for the rest of my life.
100%. You know, it's funny that you say that because what's happening now is you got Master 4, and then it's Master 4, Master 4. And what's going to change now is they're going to start to bring in 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I
Yeah.
think is it Master 5 or Master 4? I think is the highest. So, yeah.
I think Master 4 is the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I walk around with the rule book because I don't
Yeah.
remember this stuff. You know. So, all right, where do you guys want to see powerlifting in the Western Cape going? Let's chat a little bit about that. Tell us about some of the clubs, some of the athletes. Where do you see it going? What do you want to see happen, rather?
We want to see a lot more development happening in the
Mm,
Western Cape. So over the past 2 years, we've sort of like managed to bring the Western Cape together
mm,
and get the sport to actually grow in the Western Cape. So it's been a 2 year process, but we have club referees, me
mm-hmm.
being one of them, and then we wrote our provincial exams last year. So now we have provincial refs. So with every competition, we try and raise up more referees. Number one,
Right.
we
Okay.
need refs. If we don't have refs, we don't have a sport. So we actually have six athletes that have registered for their club ref exam in October. So we really push becoming a referee. It's important, to give back to the sport just as much as
Mm-hmm.
you're taking from the sport. We
Absolutely.
also have, so Southside Strength is one of the clubs, but none of these clubs are physical gyms.
Mm,
So we would love one of these clubs to become a physical gym or a home for athletes in the Western Cape to come and train at.
mm-hmm.
Because that's one problem we have in the Western Cape. We don't have powerlifting specific equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten racks from SAPF, but we don't have anywhere to put these racks.
Right.
So the number one, we need a facility to have our athletes train at.
But just
Number
on
two,
that point, so sorry to jump in. On that point, Nick, like there is no excuse.
no,
That
no,
you train, you find a way.
you find a way. So at this competition that we just had, we had a Southside Strength competition about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. We had 41 lifters.
Sure.
And I think about 35 of those lifters were first-time lifters. All of them either train at the Virgin Active, or Zone Fitness, or a home gym. So they've got a place to train. Okay. So our main aim is to host as many club comps throughout the year to grow the sport, not to make money. We're not here to make thousands of rands. We're here to get lifters into the sport. So if we can host 5 to 6 club comps a year and we get 30 new athletes for every comp, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 150 athletes that we would have added to the sport in a year.
Yep.
And our main aim is to get them to provincials. So as Western Cape, we've set up a website where our athletes can find everything they need to know about Western Cape powerlifting, SAPF, how to get involved in the sport, and we push it as much as we can on social media. We've got a WhatsApp group with hundreds of lifters on the group. So we're really trying to grow the sport in the Western Cape so that we can be as competitive as Gauteng, even though it's very far for us to come up to watch.
So I think what you're saying is
But
you want to
it's
be
worth
more.
it. It's worth a try.
Yeah, you want to be more competitive than Gauteng. You want more lifters than Gauteng. So then Gauteng moes kom kuier. Gauteng has to come and visit, right? Okay, 100%.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. How's the response been to the exams and the competitions, and the understanding that to ref is how you give back at the start?
We have, in the past 2 years, including myself, because remember I just started the sport, we've gained, I think, 10 referees in
That's
2 years.
phenomenal. Sure.
We have an exam on the 7th of October, and we've got 5 or 6 other athletes competing. So if we can add 5 refs per year, we'll grow the amount of refs we have in the sport. And these athletes know that they need to give back. They know that you cannot just take from the sport, take as a ref. That's a nice way to give back. And also, a funny thing, they also want to have a feeling of red lighting someone. You can't come and complain to the refs that this is wrong and how can you make this call and how can you do this if you haven't even gone through a single ref exam.
If you understand how terrifying it is.
Yeah.
100%. Oh,
so I have the utmost respect for refs because it's not an easy job. And whatever decision the ref makes, I respect it.
Listen, the value of having more referees means that we can have a jury at competition, and then gives the opportunity for the coach to go and query the lift if it's a 2-to-1. And that is so needed because I was TC in Sun City for World Bench, and one of the coaches, it was a 2-to-1. I thought it looked like, and I told the coach, this is an international level coach, to go and query with the jury, and he wasn't aware that he could, and the jury overturned the lift in his athlete's favor, and she got to medal. So which was fantastic, and that's really what the sport is about. And even the lifter who got a lower podium finish came to me afterwards and said, as a joke, why did you do that? But they meant it in a good way, because it's about, informing, growing what everybody knows. So the more referees we have, then we can have a jury, and then our coaches and athletes get to experience what it's like to lift with a jury. When you're at a jury, when you're at an international, you don't suddenly not know how the jury works and what your rights are and the decisions that you get to make. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what's the dream for province?
The dream for province would be to have a national champion in every category.
Okay, cool. And what about hosting competitions?
If it's one dream we have as a province, so
Mm,
it's fantastic. We
mm,
can develop as many lifters as we like here,
mm-hmm.
but let's be real. To get to Poch,
Yeah,
personally, it cost me, I think, just under 10,000 rand last year.
yeah.
An average lifter from Mitchell's Plain does not have that finances at their
Mm,
disposal. They just can't. As
yeah.
much as we try, they can't. So our dream as province would be to host a national championship in the
Mm-hmm.
Western Cape.
Right, 100%. Awesome.
That is our dream. We're not sure if
Well,
it could be possible, but we can dream.
the way that you do that, and that's what I love about the SAPF. The rules are quite simple. Where are the most lifters going to be from?
Hmm.
That's the thing. And then
Yeah.
is there so the biggest cost and the biggest reason, my understanding is why we always use Potch is because of the cost. So
Yes.
the venue, we get the venue, and the to transport the equipment there is much less
Cheaper.
from its base in
Yes.
Fochville to get everything down to the Western Cape. But again, that comes in growing the Western Cape, getting the
Yes.
equipment in, getting the platforms in, building a high performance center where
Yes.
athletes can come on the weekends or in the
Yeah.
evenings. Maybe not in December because it's 11 hours to go 1.5 kilometers. And also to
Yeah.
get Cape Townians to commit to getting on a highway is a challenge.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah. So, all right. Let me ask you this. Where would you want to see nationals in the Western Cape? Where would you like it to be held?
In Cape Town, at the
Where,
CTICC.
okay, at the or somewhere on the
Somewhere close.
somewhere on the Cape Flats or at the CTIC.
Even, can I tell you something about the Cape Flats? So we had a
Mm?
competition, this I told you, I mean,
Yeah,
43 lifters. It was inter-district,
yeah. Mm.
right? So we had an inter-district competition, and the Cape Flats actually won.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So we were saying maybe next time we should have a club competition in the Cape Flats.
Yep.
Get the community involved, get the people involved. And I mean, if we could host a national competition
Mm.
in the Cape Flats, imagine the exposure it will bring to the sport.
100%. No, for sure. Bishopsleven, Philippi,
Yes.
ek ken daai plek mos.
Yay.
Yeah, I know the shortcuts to get to Milnerton from the airport.
Yeah.
So there's
So
some
we
great
would
schools.
love
There's
it.
some, to host it at one of the schools.
Yes.
What that would give to the school, what it would mean to the kids, because suddenly, you're coming out and showing them that they're special, not just telling them.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
this is something to keep in mind. But please also from our side, when you have club comps, when you have provincials, let me know as well. We'll always
Okay.
do our utmost to get down and to stream it.
Awesome.
The value of streaming the events, right? And to doing what we're doing, why we're doing it is we have to give the athletes exposure. We have to give the sport exposure. In PE now for SA Equipped, I think we had 898 views
Wow.
on one of the sessions, right?
Wow.
At Nationals Classic, we're getting 1,000. So it's
Wow.
growing. And what happens is when you then go to sponsors with those numbers, and it doesn't have to be a huge sponsor, it can be the local Toyota dealership or the local builder's hardware that gives a couple of thousand rand or some lights. That's
Yeah.
how we grow this. And it's
Yes.
making it grassroots, but then the guys know they get that exposure. And
Yes.
the reason why I love it, doing it, for example, in Cape Town, in your area, is that the community will support those who support the community.
Yes.
So
Most definitely.
I get passionate about this stuff.
We
So,
with this competition,
mm,
I'm not sure if you even saw the post. So we had 43 athletes, but we had
right,
over 100 spectators. People that
phenomenal.
just came out to support.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
And we have social media to let people know about what's coming up. I mean, that is,
Yeah.
we've never had that. I'm old. I remember having to print flyers, and and you know what a flyer is, Nicole? That you give someone a
Oh,
flyer, you're basically saying, you throw this away for me. So
yeah. Throw it away for you. Yeah.
so tell us about a couple of your lifters.
In the
Anyone
Western
that
Cape.
stands out for you that sort of tugs on your heartstrings.
Oh, there's so many of them. Do you know how many first-time lifters I saw this weekend?
Mm,
Shamima Boo, Juan, Chloe, like young lifters, juniors, man,
mm,
and they
mm.
have so much potential. They stick to the sport. They have immense potential. Another lifter that actually got me into the sport, told me about provincial championships, is Jordy Goliath.
Mm.
Um, he is a phenomenal lifter. Incredible. It's amazing to watch him on the platform. He's so eloquent with his
Mm,
deadlift.
mm, mm.
So he's really great. I don't like mentioning names because firstly I'm bad with names,
Yeah.
and secondly it's like I feel like everyone does well. Tom that moved down from
Mm.
Johannesburg, Kyle Noonan. I can't wait until Kyle Noonan makes his comeback on the platform as a 120 kg
Yeah.
lifter.
No, no,
Then there are lots
I
of
was chatting to Henk de Vet. He was saying
mm,
Kyle's going for the 83s. No.
no. Yo, I was gonna say no, man. How is he gonna fit in an 83 kilo body?
Not
That's impossible. But that man, I cannot wait for him to. I know that he's technically from Gauteng, but he
mm,
lives in the Western Cape. He's
yep.
a phenomenal, phenomenal lifter.
He's South
And then there are a
Africa's
few.
captain. He's our Captain America. That's it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. And then there are a few other females, like a woman named
Mm,
Astrid that
mm,
competed the weekend, also first time lifter. She'll make
mm, mm,
waves, that woman. Ex CrossFitters, so
mm,
they've been squatting and deadlifting for years. And then we just have so many others. Taryn is a Masters lifter.
mhm.
I look forward to seeing her in action next year at Masters Worlds, hopefully. So yeah, no, there's a lot of potential in the
Awesome.
Western Cape.
So I think
Definitely.
then what we can do once we finish recording is we can chat about a couple of the guys, because I know you don't want to put anyone under pressure. We'd love to get them onto the podcast as well to
I'm
chat to
sure
them.
they'll be happy to. Definitely
Just to
be
get,
happy.
and what's so cool like with this is the audio clips and the video clips I'm recording separately, so we can also share that with you, and you can repost it, or you can
Most
repost
definitely.
in this format, so to just give guys access to material to
Yes.
use. That's awesome. Okay, cool. With I mean, Western Cape has always been a challenge with its lifting, and there's a lot of old guys were involved, and I suppose that's a lot of within powerlifting. So to see the youth grabbing it and running with it, if I speak about Veronica from New Zealand, Manning,
Mm.
and having chatted to her, she's and I forgot to mention that in the title. She's the president of
Yes.
their federation, and just how they've grown. I think there are over 2,000 affiliated lifters, and just it's wonderful to see the energy that the youth is bringing, and that's sort of what
Yes.
I'm seeing you guys are doing in the Western Cape.
Yes. No, we definitely want to get more youth involved in the sport.
Mm-mm.
Definitely.
Yeah, for me, anyone under 40 is youth, so it's fine.
Yes.
Um,
What is the 140? Under 60, man.
exactly, there we go, to 100%. So, Nick, from your side, is there anything sort of that you would like? I know we've touched on a lot, and there's a lot more to still talk about. So, tell us about the event and where it is, when it is, how people find it. How do people get hold of you on social? How do they get hold of your gym? And then,
Okay,
if you can also just tell me about a couple of the gyms in Cape Town that, if you want to mention, that people can get in touch with if they want to get started.
so let's first just touch on the
Mm.
gyms because I will forget.
Yes,
So
me
I
too,
work at
and I have already.
Stonehurst.
So yeah, yeah.
I work at Stonehurst Mountain
Mm,
Estate, so this is one facility to come and train at. Then we have
mm,
Rock Valley Barbell, that's run by Olivia White, also fantastic lifter.
mm,
Olivia
mm,
White and her coach. That's out in Paul for those that live like at Winelands out
mm,
that
mhm,
way. And then we've just got Virgin Actives and um, lots of zone fitnesses around here. So, like I said, we don't have powerlifting specific clubs or gyms, but there are lots of Virgin Actives and zone fitnesses, and then Rock Valley Barbell that I know that specializes in powerlifting as well.
Right.
And then there's a Genesis Barbell in Brackenfell. That's also a fantastic powerlifting gym for anyone that comes to Cape Town that wants to do some lifting. So the event is at Stonehurst Mountain Estate. It's completely free of charge because we're just here to build and grow and empower. That's what it's about. Completely free of charge. It's from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's an hour and a half seminar. We'll do a welcome, and then it's just the basics of what powerlifting is. Running through the various compound lifts, the equipment needed, and then there'll just be a talk on the mental game and how to empower yourself mentally, and also just realizing that you can be strong emotionally, mentally, physically as a woman. So that's the gist of the event that we're running. And we really hope to have a good turnout, not only in person, but also online.
Okay, 100%. And parents can come to look at it themselves. They can bring kids. We can start competing at 14, but you can start lifting
Yes.
at 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yes.
I mean, we look
Yes.
at Majan de Vet. I think, well,
Yes.
she was lifting in the womb already, but yeah. So
Oh, yeah, definitely.
okay, awesome, fantastic. What else was there we were talking?
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, you know,
I forgot.
let's look at this one point as well. If you have moms that have kids that they are maybe struggling with in terms of behavior, who they're hanging out with, what they're exposed to, what would you say to those parents or those mothers about why they should get involved in the sport, and also why they should come through on Women's Day and come and hang out?
So I've spoken at a few youth camps
Mm.
in the city of Cape Town. I sort of like connected myself to the city of Cape Town. And each time I went and spoke about the sport, it's like powerlifting brought a spark in these young adults' eyes. They were like, oh, I can be strong. And the girls, oh my gosh, I can lift this because I'd always take a barbell with me. I can
Mm-mm.
lift the barbell. So it gave them confidence as youth. Number one,
Mm.
your child will be confident. They will know who they are. And because they know who they are, they won't fall for anything else. They will
Mm-hmm.
stand their ground. They have
Yes.
morals, they have values. Powerlifting will teach them fantastic morals and values to be committed, learn to be disciplined, learn that not everything in life comes easy. If you want it, you have to work for it. It's not going to fall into your lap. And if I'm going to deviate from this path, I'm just not going to get stronger. So if I am going to go and try drugs, my life is just going to go a totally different direction.
Mm.
So, powerlifting is going to help your child remain focused, committed, dedicated, become confident, and also just learning about who they are and learning about their identity, figuring themselves out
Mm.
as the youth.
I think you said something so important. If you know who you are, you don't fall for other things. And listen, powerlifting is addictive.
Yo,
So
that's a drag.
yeah, if you want to try drugs, try the iron drug. You
Try the
know,
iron drag.
try
Yeah,
the
the
iron drug.
calibrated iron drag.
Because this is the thing. Every time you take drugs, you wake up the next day, you're not better than you were the day before.
Not
Every
at all.
training session you wake up the next day, you better and you stronger.
And
So
fitter, yeah.
for people like I've been sober for 16 years. I started
Yeah,
drinking when I was 9 years old. Okay.
sure.
And I stopped when I was 36. And like that I have the understanding of there are addictive things that you can do that are healthy and will help you. And for the youth, win a bronze medal at provincials and include that in your CV when you apply for a job or a bursary or a scholarship if you're a junior, because it's going to show, as you said, honor, discipline, self respect, self work, the understanding of delayed gratification, the
Yes.
understanding of teamwork and persistency. So that's what's beautiful about the sport. is,
Yes.
make the national team and don't get a medal. Go perform, show people your participation medal at nationals or at
Yes.
provincials or even at a club comp. It shows commitment. And
Yes.
those
Definitely.
are what people, employers or schools or universities are looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thanks. Nick, is there anything, I'm sure we've forgotten so much, but is there anything else that you'd like to mention or share or talk about?
No, I'm just honored to be here. Happy to be here. Happy to give back to the community. Happy to share this journey with everyone. And yeah, my encouragement is if you've been thinking about it, just do it.
And
There's nothing stopping you. You can be strong.
yeah.
You can be fierce. You can be powerful. Just do it.
Or even discover your strength.
Yes,
Discover how strong you already are.
definitely.
Because were you winning nationals and you've been lifting for 2 years, or you're winning nationals in your first year, discover how strong you already are. One of the South African athletes, Simon Bretsky, Simon was training with me. His first competition was Gauteng. His second was SAs. And his third time ever on the platform was at Worlds in Sweden in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So discover how strong you already are.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Awesome. Nix, thank you so much. I'm going to end the recording now and then we'll just chat quickly. Thank you
Perfect.
so much. Dude, you rock. You're an inspiration to so many.
Thank you.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining and keep spreading the message of the greatest sport there is. Yeah.
Thank you. I
Okay.
will do so.
Okay.